Hi everybody, it's David Fleming here from the Toronto Realty blog, and welcome to this week's Pick 5. Now a full week later and I am still sick, but it's kind of cool because it's a sinus infection and I've never had one before. Weird, right? But don't you like new and different things? It's not what my doctor said. Anyways, I will do my best today to get through this without sounding a little crazy because the mind is not exactly working. The sinus infection is essentially from here up to here, and I said to my doctor, so basically it's a brain infection. And he thought I was ridiculous. Anyways, guys, this week we're doing houses, thank goodness, because the last couple weeks were condos, and what this means, of course, is that we finally have inventory. Now, we don't have inventory across the city. I can tell you that I have an old whiteboard. I have 11 would-be active home buyers, and I am showing to 2 of them because the other people, there is absolutely positively nothing to see. And to go off on a bit of a tangent here for a minute, just give me some leeway, not to sound like the eternal market optimist and a cheerleader and a market bull, but every single time I read anything negative about the Toronto real estate market, I think, walk a mile in my shoes, or just from the door to the computer to see how little is actually on the market. So case in point, last night I met a couple who live in Leslieville and they're looking to buy in Riverdale. And they're very astute. And one of them said, it seems to me that no one ever moves out of Riverdale. They know how little inventory there is. And so I said to them, for every couple like you that's sitting here looking to buy that $1.5 million 3-bed, 4-bath semi, there's maybe 100 other couples that would also like to buy it. Now, not all of them are going to offer, but of that 100, 60 of them are going to go and see it. This is the issue with our market. And then, that sells and we don't see another one for 2.5 months. Now, I know we see more for sale in Riverdale, but we're detached, or we're another 300,000, or we're too small, or we don't have parking. My point is that for the actual buyer that knows what they want, there's nothing out there for them to buy. And that has been the problem with Toronto real estate market for as long as I can remember. And that is why I just don't see things changing. So, case in point, this week we have inventory. We're going to look at Bloor West. I threw one in Roncesvalles because I can only find 4 properties in Bloor West to profile. Now, these are properties, when do we do this? We'll go to the map, take a look here. You've got 4 of them. Now, these are properties that are not in prime, right? Prime Bloor West would be down here. This is where people want to live, or High Park. We've got one that's almost at Dundas. We've got one that's north of Annette, one that's on Annette, and then one down here, which we'll see is, well, actually, it's not bad. It's a detached. There's a little 2-bedroom. That's right. That's a 2-bedroom over here. It says Parkdale, but that's prime Roncesvalles. So, like I said, case in point, take this house over here. This one's on Westholme, which we'll see first. How many people are interested in purchasing this home? And if they don't purchase it, when will the next home like it come out? And how many people will be interested in purchasing that one? It's just simple supply and demand, and it's not changing. Until the day when Pick 5 becomes Pick 55, I don't see any way out of this market in terms of the deficit between supply and demand. So with that said, guys, why don't we get right into it? The theme, as I said, is Bloor West. Let's take a look at 67 Westholme. So Westholme is one of those streets that you think Westholme, Glenholme, Glebehome, it's tough to place. And I will admit that for a moment, I forgot where it was. I knew it was in Junction, but I for a moment thought it was up over here somewhere, just outside of, sorry, the heat being turned on, just outside of Prime Bloor West Village. But no, it's actually here on a pretty cool street. And the reason I say that this is cool is because it's only one block. So there's really no through traffic. And the same is said for Gilmore. And I had a client that bought on, I can't find it. You know what, it would take me too long. I don't want to zoom in and out. But point being, these little one-way streets, there's very little through traffic. So it's an awesome spot. It's super quiet. There's a little parkette here. Now, in terms of infrastructure, there is a little infrastructure on Annette. There's a lot of stuff, as you know, up on Dundas. But for the most part in Bloor West, people want to know, how far is it for me to walk down to Bloor? And from here, you're probably a 15-minute walk, 12, 10. Does it make a big difference to you? If this house was, let's say, down here, it might cost an extra $100,000. So let's take a look at the listing itself. It is a semi-detached, and it's difficult to tell it is detached on this side. It's your standard 3-bed, 2-bath. It does have parking. It's got a partial basement. It's got a very interesting write-up. Look at this. The top 5 reasons you'll love this move-in ready home. 1, the charming front porch for coffee in the morning or wine in the evening. I hate when people write crap like this, but you know, it is what it is. 2, the spacious dining room to host friends and family for meals. 3, the convenient mudroom with loads of storage to bring order to the chaos. 4, the clawfoot soaker tub in the main bathroom. 5, the quiet, child-friendly street, told you, and being walking distance to all the amenities of both the Junction and Bloor West Village, which I also told you. It's not my favorite thing to do. I don't like to tell people how to use things. It always reminds me of Ned Flanders. Remember when Homer and Marge and the kids went to their cottage and there were sticky notes everywhere, and the ice cube tray, there was 12 different stickers that said, "Put water in me." So, look, great house. I might have said things like hardwood floors 2016, you know, let's use the 463 characters effectively. Now, that aside, it's a beautiful house. It's listed at $949. It's a tough one to price. It's only a 16-foot lot. The basement bathroom is only a 2-piece. As I said, it said partially finished. So it's not going to be as finished, I think, as maybe the photos show it. So good on them for doing photos in the better weather. Very typical entranceway, very typical layout. A lot of people will open this up, take down some of these freestanding walls. I certainly would. You're not a big enough space here to really partition rooms with walls. You don't need to anymore. Even this threshold here, which isn't a ton of wall space, I mean, I think that this carpet versus this carpet basically breaks up the 2 rooms. You understand where the dining is, where the living is. So I like when people take those walls out. Same kind of idea here, right? This is the old-fashioned kitchen. They haven't done a reno to this. So great staging, great aesthetic look to it. But as I said, this is the kind of thing that won't look as good in person. So case in point, these cupboards, these are like original cupboards. Open these up. Feel what they feel like. How many coats of paint are on here? Maybe they put on new handles, but like original backsplash. So, great house. I'm just saying that this is the house that's going to look way, way better in the photos. I love the old home phone. And here we go upstairs. Okay, so love the footprint, love the room sizes. What drives me nuts is closet space. There's never enough closet space in old houses. So we've got the 2nd bedroom, and here we've got the snug little 3rd bedroom. So the clawfoot tub, which people say is romantic, I say is impractical, and this is just screaming for water to get absolutely everywhere, but I do like the brick. So here's the backyard, and then they didn't show a photo of the parking. So there is one space off the laneway. Now $949 is low. I would love to see this at $949. I mean, it's not going to sell for it. It's more a question of what do we think it would go for. If you look at the floor plan here, this is the lower level. Storage room basically means what? Unfinished space. You could take this wall out and renovate down here. You could have a really nice rec room. So they've got, this is your staircase, and you walk down. They've got a 2-piece powder room, which you probably wouldn't use because you've got an unfinished basement. And then laundry and then utilities. So I'm thinking you could do a nice rec room down here if you got rid of this. And I don't think that this would be load bearing because it's not a big enough house. It's only 16 feet. So in terms of a potential sale price, I pulled 63 Westholme. So 63 Westholme sold last year in May. So what we've got here is an extra half story, and it's given us an extra bedroom. Now this was listed at 900 and sold for $1,050,000. So if you use the same metric, we're 150 over, and that's one metric. This would be selling for 1.1. Now, this one has parking. This one has parking. It has a garage. What condition was this in? I mean, it was in pretty similar condition, right? A lot of the rooms actually, feel of similar size. Now, lot size. Lot size is 17 by 115. The one we're looking at is 16 by 115. So realistically, all you've got here, oops, where did I go? Holy moly. All you've got here is a stale listing. The market's gone up since May of last year. Statistically, I'm sure you could pull stats that don't support that, but 100% for this house, it has. So maybe the market offsets this extra bedroom and this extra half story. And maybe this is a $1,050,000 house. So I don't think it is. I think it's going to go for 1.1. You could make an argument any which way, and that's what's always so interesting in our wonderful world of real estate. Okay, let's move on to, oh, this is cool. Okay, this is cool for a few reasons. So first reason this is cool is because I had a client bid on this in 2011, and they were absolutely heartbroken when they didn't get it. It sold for $600,000. I can't remember what their bid was. Oh, you know what? I have the listing. Let me show you here. There you go. 529 sold for 600. It's so funny because that's a $70,000 difference. Back then, it'd be like 529. Oh boy, guys, I don't know. Do we go 547 or 549? The margins were so much smaller. I can't remember what we bid. I think we were at like 580, and we were shocked when a semi on Annette sold for 600. Now those guys ended up getting a detached house. I won't say where. Not that anyone's going to put two and two together, but they got a detached house around the corner for 610, which was an awesome deal because I remember I was coaching baseball that night and I was talking to the listing agent, and he or she is a big name agent that was bragging about going on a big listing presentation, and I realized did not really care about doing the deal on the property that they got. It was listed at 630, we got it for 610, and they would have paid 630. There's no question. But this agent was so obsessed with this $4 million Babby Point listing presentation that just said, yeah, okay, fine, 610, great. And we got a deal. Okay, cool. Now this was also owned, where are we here? This was also owned by a former executive for somebody of one of the major Toronto sports teams. So I guess it's time to sell. Anyways, I love this house. I loved it back then, and obviously they loved it. That's why we had offered on it. Not a lot has changed. This is so weird. I literally sat on this couch across from them, and we were talking about how much they loved it. We sat at this table when I asked them about their finances. This is just a trip down memory lane. 2011. Oh my God, I was so much younger then, thinner. So they honestly have not really done anything to this house. It looks to me to be the exact same house as it was in 2011, but it's an awesome space. Yes, I remember this basement. This basement was awesome. So great ceiling height, pot lights, built-in TV, and you know what's cool is that a lot of the times you don't notice, if you've underpinned, and this might not be the case because it's the front of the house, but if you underpin, or sorry, you want to underpin and you don't, you bench instead, and you've got that jut coming out from the wall. I always tell people, do built-ins, you'll never notice. Let's say there was the jut coming out here, you just build it in to build it into the built-ins. See, my mind's still not working, I'm still sick. But there's a way to actually disguise that little jut. I don't know what it's called, I'm calling it a jut. So this is a really awesome house. Oh, there you go, perfect example, right? So here you go, this was dug down, and this is a classic case of underpinning. So if you wanted to say build storage up here, not that you need to, there's a window here, but prime example is where you've got a TV room, you could hide this in the design of built-in closets. Okay, so we got a master bedroom. This is kind of neat. There's like a short door next to a couple of big doors. I don't know why I thought that was interesting. Another clawfoot tub. Oy. And parking. There was parking here. There's one car parking. Yeah, one car parking. Okay, so 949, beautiful house. I'm gonna lean back here if you don't mind me. Oh, that's so much better. So 949, 3-bed, 2-bath. They are taking offers on this, remind me, on February 2nd. So, I didn't have any comps for this. There's nothing on Annette that's at all comparable. So I'm going to say that this is another house that's $1.1 million. Now, the question is, would you rather live in this house for $1.1 million, 16 by 115, not on a busy street like Annette, but same thing, has parking, doesn't have the finished basement? Would you rather live on busy Annette, 16 by 120, same kind of idea. There is a real bathroom down here in an awesome finished basement. I would take this all day. I don't care that it's on the busier street. Like I said, if you were to look at Westholme, it's a super quiet street that's one block. And then Annette, where's 669 Annette? It should be here. Let me go to my map here. Yeah, okay, so it basically is. So here's Westholme, here's Annette. Exactly the same in terms of general location within the city, but this is on a quiet street. This here is on a major street. Apples to apples, I would take this one in a heartbeat. So it'll be very interesting to see what these two go for, but certainly we will see by next week. Okay, so let's move on to the next one, which is a detached. So this is on Willard, and now we're at $1.99 million. We're 3-bed, 3-bath. We're no parking. We're finished basement. And then this, some people don't like this barn shape, this hexagonal roof. Now it's a 20 by 100, so it's a wider lot. It just, the look of it, people a lot of the time don't love. So general location here, I mean, yeah, it's pretty close to Dundas, but you're not floating in no man's land. So as this area continues to get away from big box stuff and get into, more main draggy, which is more, that's not a word, main draggy, but which is more sort of around here. This is Prime Junction. Now, see the color Google has done here. I should really look into what that means, but this is sort of, you know, little stuff, little shops, little restaurants. This is big box. So if you were to live this close to Dundas, you'd probably rather be over here. But again, the location's still pretty darn good. Walking distance to Bloor, I don't know, 25 minutes. I'd have to hazard a guess. So this one, guys, is interesting because it is the one listing, well, it's the one Bloor West listing of the 4. Nope, you know what? Let me double check. I'm blaming everything today that I get wrong on my head hurts. I'm sick. I can't think. Wow, I'm really reclining. Holy cow. So this is one of the 2 that is not holding back offers. So that's great. $1,099,000 offers anytime. Let's take a look at it. It's very nicely renovated. This I did not quite understand. I didn't really understand this at all. I think that this is supposed to be cool. To me, it looks extremely unfinished. It makes no sense to me. You have to agree with me, right? Like, this is missing drywall. Look, it has to be. I could not understand this. Everything's new and everything's staged, but this is missing drywall. Those are 2x4s. That's wild to me. And then the rest of the house is done. Does that make any sense to you guys? I don't know. Anyways, so beautiful reno, right? Really great quality, great layout on the inside. You know, 2-piece bath, some brick there's nice. Big king size bed in the master. Really great shower, and you're like, wow, this is only $1,099,000. They did a good job. So this should shed some light. She sells seashells down by the seashore. This should shed some light on the potential sale prices for the other ones. So here's your basement. I don't love multiple ducts running, but what are you going to do? The ceiling height looks to be okay. And then you have another 3-piece downstairs. This looks really short. I would love to measure that ceiling height. And there's the back of the house. Okay, so get to the warts. So there's no parking. There's that. The location is 3 houses in from Dundas, but it's $1,099,000 and it's detached. So let's take a look at the floor plan here. Oh, this doesn't really do much for us. Yeah, living, dining, kitchen. I wanted a more look at the basement and get an idea there. Okay, so that's the rec room that we saw. That's that long hallway. So 12.8 by 11.3. So it's not bad. It's a little kid's playroom, or it's a little man cave. But at $1,099,000 with offers anytime, it's not a bad buy. And in actual fact, if it sits on the market, you're $1,075,000, you're $1,060,000, you're $1,050,000 after 5 weeks on the market. So I think this is going to be very telling. Proximity to Dundas, no parking. 3-bed, 3-bath, the extra bath, but it's detached. So for my money, I would take this house here. I just think it's really cute. It's really charming. The fact that the other one's detached doesn't really do a lot for me. I think this is a better house. And here we are, these guys coming out, offers anytime at $1.1 million. Okay, I look awful. I'm gonna sit back up. Let's just dip down into Roncesvalles now, because this house was on the market previously. So I'm going to spoil the surprise right now. I'm going to show you that this house at $1,275,000 was on the market for $1,199,000. So it's on the market for $1,199,000, holding back offers, didn't get it. And you've heard me say this before many times. If you're going to underlist and hold back, have the guts to really underlist and hold back. You'll see people, you know, listed $1,099,000 and then relisted $1,139,000. That's not enough. There's not enough margin there at 40 grand. So these guys were at $1,199,000. If they really wanted to play that game, they should have listed $999,000. $999,000 hold back offers. Maybe you get a bully for $1,250,000 from someone who loves it. And $1,250,000, that's pretty darn good, because now you're sitting at $1,275,000. So when I see a relist, I merely assume that they are building in a premium for negotiation. I merely assume that their target was a little over $1,200,000, and they thought, let's bring it up so that we can always negotiate downwards. Now, the issue with this house, if you could call it an issue, is that it is only a 2-bedroom house. So a 2-bedroom house for almost $1.3 million is a little bit steep. But Garden is one of the best streets in Roncesvalles. Garden and Galley, people love it. Fern, 3 top streets. Your school is, if I could zoom in, here's Fern, right there. So you're a block away from the school. You're closer to Sororan than you are to Roncesvalles, but so be it. You are like a 5-minute walk to prime Roncesvalles and to Tim Hortons, which is my jam. I should be drinking tea, but I'm not. I'm drinking coffee. I can't help it. I am addicted. So the house itself, as I said, it's only a 2-bedroom, but it's a really cute house, and it's extremely well done. You have to think they left this little blue thing out there for the photos. and a green chair, really great pops of color. Oh, real interesting staging. Now, is this for a cat? I don't think so. Normally you see like a cat ladder climber. No, I don't know. It's a bit busy. Yeah, it's a little. Yeah, okay. It's not that it's busy. It's just, I'm boring, basically, right? This is really cool stuff. Where'd you get this from? Looks like something they'd get on American Pickers. So, wow. It's an amazing house. It really is. $1,275,000, 2 bedrooms. You can see they extended off the original footprint. Otherwise, you wouldn't have this massive kitchen. It's a bit of a galley happening, but you can see back here a little eating area and a skylight. Some of the original brick in there is nice. Double undermount sink. You've got the laundry upstairs, which, yeah, it's not my favorite. I guess you could cook and do laundry at the same time. Very cool. Very cool. Oh, I saw this. Someone took a photo of this, or one like it, and put it on Instagram. It's very cruise ship-esque. So it's not huge down there, but it's a really well put together house. Really, really artsy looking. What does this say? Actually, I won't read it to you. I'll go to the listing after. Oh, that's weird. Okay, so that's the +1 in the basement. Oh, folds out. All right. And there's a really nice backyard. And 2-car parking. Wait a minute. I don't know, George. 2 cars. It's from Seinfeld. George Costanza. I don't know, George. Yeah, 15 feet. 15 feet. I don't think you can call that 2-car. I mean, like 2 Mini Cooper Classics, but this is not 2-car parking. You got away with one there. Wow, it's a great garage, I'll give it that, but we're not really buying the garage. Okay, so we're $1,275,000, we're a 2-bed. Look at this. Why buy a condo when you can enjoy freehold living? I don't know, because I'm looking for a $600,000 condo. Will you sell this for $600,000? I don't like write-ups like that. It's kind of silly. It doesn't really make any sense. Why buy a condo for $1.3 million when you can buy a house for $1.3 million? Yeah, okay. Like, why did you order the chicken when you could have had the fish? It's just a silly question. Anyways, but I will say that this is an awesome renovation. It's a really cool house. For somebody that loves the house, the location, and it's turnkey and it's their style, doesn't have any kids, it's going to be great. But you will be calling your real estate agent in 5 years when you're pregnant with a second child because you're going to be like, holy crap, what are we going to do? Let me just show you the floor plan real quick here. Excuse me. It's the upstairs, right? There's absolutely no room. You look at the master, little closet, second bedroom, little closet, right? So I'm sure you got built-ins here, but point being, there's not a ton of space up here. Really, really skinny mini little bathroom. So there's not a ton of space if you wanted to try desperately to expand. And then here you can see I was talking about that looks like there's a bump out. That looks to be like what this is here. So the original house looks like it had ended here. Okay, they did good on this, eh? 9'4" main, 8'8" on the second, and 7'2" in the basement. That's really good. That is a really sharp. Okay, so let's do this. Let's move on to the last one here. This one's interesting. I say that about all of them. So we got 445 Armadale. So we have a 25-foot frontage and a detached house and a 4-bed. So first let's take a look at the map. So we're in Prime, right? We're in Prime. We're south of Annette. We're in Prime Bloor West. So Annette is, I don't know, about, that's my dad. I finally set my dad up on eBay with a PayPal account, and he's just going crazy. 72 years old in March, retired, starting to learn PayPal, eBay, my God, world, look out. He is going to buy, I can't even imagine what he's going to buy, but it means that I don't have to, he wouldn't watch this ever. I don't think he knows I'm in real estate. That's not true. I don't have to buy his stuff anymore. He collects banknotes from around the world. He's been in like 130 countries, and I always have to buy his banknotes, mint condition, uncirculated, and they cost money that I'm basically buying his hobby. So anyways, okay, great. Thanks for distracting me, Dad. What was I talking about? Yes, this is essentially maybe 60% of the way to Dundas. Obviously, depends on whether you're at Jane or Kiel. It's not quite halfway, but we are down just north of Ardagh. Prime Bloor West would be, in here. South of Ardagh, north of Bloor, but this is still what I would consider prime. So the house itself, great curb appeal as far as detached and Bloor West goes, right? This is the kind of area where you're getting out of the semis, detached, 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 detached. You're all sort of detached. Oh, interesting that the for sale sign's up. When did they do this? June of 2018. Okay, cool. That is 445, right? Oh, you have the old TV antenna. That's perfect. Somebody's going to come by and get it for scrap metal. So you see on the other side, again, detached, detached, detached. Now you're into some semis. But point being, this is an area where detached are more prevalent. So for those that value the detached, you know, what's it going to cost you? Now you look at the photos, and I'm not going to say that this is a gut because that would be rude, but I will say that this certainly is a reno project. It looks like a beautiful, lovingly cared for home, but I think a lot of people are going to want to renovate this. So what I'm going to do is show you a few of the houses on 25-foot lots that have sold, right? You love the stained glass and you love the original banisters, or you don't, you want to rip it all out. So you can get the idea that this may be the you know, older demographic. Great shot of the staircase. Holy, yeah, okay. Cut myself off there. Yeah, so here's the basement, not looking too great. And there you go, there's the backyard. So yeah, I mean, you know, what's this gonna go for, and I mean, what would we pay for it? Well, it's a 25-foot lot, it needs work, and I think it's overpriced at $1,364,000. There's no offer date here. So what I had done is pulled these. So this is 25 by 119. This is a 4-bed, 2-bath, sold for $1,252,000. But this was probably in worse shape, right? I mean, you can see it's the same kind of idea, original wood here. But you know, these guys look like they moved out in the middle of the night. This is basically the same kitchen, but original. And this is $1,252,000. So now we go back here and, right, same kitchen, but this is new. So the issue that I have is at $1,364,000, they've like half-assed it. So $1,364,000, I'd rather have this house here at $1,252,000 and not have the crap that these people put in to try to fix it up. Because it looks to me like, you know, like, look, this beautiful home features quartz countertops. Okay, great, good for you. Sunny porch, large principal room. So they're kind of combining like quartz countertops, which great, you know, you spent $4,000 at Home Depot and put them in yourself, you know, and then things like large principal rooms, hardwood floors, stained glass windows, things that were already there. So the question you've got to ask yourself is, if you're looking to buy a house and renovate it, do you want this one, which is in worse shape and costs $140,000 less, or do you want this one, which some things have been done to it? So let me go back to the comps again and show you. So this one in 572 Windermere, just in terms of a location, it's actually a little bit better location, right? The other one was on Armadale up here north of Ardog, woof. And this one is, I hope someone laughed at that. This one is just north of Colbeck. So the next comp I've got is another 25-foot lot, and it's on Colbeck, and it's a 4-bed, 2-bath, and it's $1,245,000. So these both sold last year, just so you know. This one was in rougher shape, right? You get the idea here, right? So this thing's a gut for sure. But it seems to me like the market for these homes is around, you know, $1,245,000, $1,252,000. And then I'll show you this next one. This is $1,360,000 on a 30-foot lot. A 329 running mean, so busier street, but same kind of idea, right? Almost a, you know, like same house, just wider lot. I know I'm going through these fast, but I think you get the idea. So for $1,360,000, you've got a 30 by 120. $1,245,000, you've got the 25-foot lot. $1,252,000, you've got the 25-foot lot. And here we are this year, $1,364,000, you've got the 25-foot lot. So my opinion is that this is priced based on the few things that they've renovated in the house. But if you're walking in here, you may want to just gut the whole thing. I would prefer if this thing was not semi-renovated. So if it was me, I would take a complete pass on it, because I would want this identical house in worse shape for a hell of a lot less money. And it's offers anytime. Okay, that's it, guys. Wow. So not bad overall. I feel like I kept my head. I definitely feel like crap right now. But at least I got to show you some new listings. So freehold market, incredibly slow to materialize this year. I was just emailing a client and saying, here's the vicious circle. We have inventory tied up in the form of buyers who own. So people that want to go out and buy, and they're move-up buyers. They own properties. So the person looking for a $2.5 million house, they own a $1.4 million house. That $1.4 million house will not be on the market until they buy the $2.5 million house. But there's no $2.5 million house for them to buy. It's a vicious circle. Everything happens at once. So when inventory starts coming out, people will start buying. Those people will then get their houses ready for sale, and that inventory will join the rest of the existing inventory, and it's basically just going like this. So my prediction is another very slow 3 weeks in the freehold market, and then we're going to start to see stuff come out excuse me, in mid-February. Okay, I've talked too much. I feel awful. I'm going to go. Have a fantastic weekend, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye for now.